great day for this Monday. It's the 4th day of May as we welcome to the desk the privacy professor. Rebecca Harold is here as more and more people talking about what you have just been fascinated with for years about privacy and security.
Yes.
So much to the point where, you know, back in the day, Jackie, when we had old bills, we'd tear them up a little bit and put them in the garbage can and separate them in 2 different garbage cans. That was your security, so nobody would look through your garbage. Yeah. Remember that? That was your way of doing that? Not anymore.
Yeah, because not much is done on paper anymore. It's done on devices, and things are always happening.
They are, and there's a lot of people out there looking to take advantage. Of course, criminals, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to do things that it's going to be easy money, right? And so right now, ransomware is really concerning me because it's spreading so quickly. Ransomware is basically when someone takes control of your computer and they encrypt your files and then they force you. Yes, that's an example of one of the ransomware.
That's one of our production computers.
But you know, it's spreading. There's many different kinds.
Now, was that something that happened to us a while ago? Would that be considered ransomware? Remember, we had somebody send a message up that popped up and said you have to call this number.
Well, if it said to decrypt your files and it didn't let you do anything unless you paid, usually in Bitcoin or go do a wire transfer, that would be ransomware.
Why in Bitcoin?
Bitcoin is a way to have online digital money that is anonymous. So basically you can't track back to who actually received payment in Bitcoin or who is actually doing transactions in Bitcoin. So the criminals that are doing this are wanting Bitcoin, or they will ask you to actually go and do a wire transfer. And in fact, there was a friend of mine here in the Des Moines area who just last month, he got a call from his wife at work, and she was very panicked, and she was like, oh my gosh, the FBI just said that we have done something wrong and that we're going to get put into jail if we don't pay this fine for copyright infringement is usually the big thing. And it scared her, so she was actually at the bank getting ready to do a wire transfer. She'd already talked to who she thought was from the FBI on the phone, who was saying she had to make this payment, but it was actually the crook. And of course my friend, all of a sudden he's like, don't stop, don't do anything here. That's what it looks like a lot of times, or something similar. But it's very scary. So people see this, and
it looks official, but it's not.
It looks official, and if you start looking at this, you'll see there's some misspelled words in there, and you'll see.
Now, is that purposeful when they have misspelled words?
Oh no,
it's
no,
just somebody overlooking
sloppy.
it.
Yeah,
just being sloppy.
The good thing about criminals is a lot of times they don't spell very well, so you could actually go out, and if you see a lot of misspellings and punctuation, problems, you'll know it's not them. But it's a very lucrative business right now. There's estimates that about 1 million victims a month are getting ransomware. And they're charging anywhere from $300 to $1,000, and 30% of the people who get hit with this actually pay. So just
pretty
think
good
about,
odds.
Yes, so they're getting anywhere from the crooks, 90 million to 300 million, if you do the math, a month off of this, and it's just crazy. And another thing that's very interesting is the fact that they're targeting police stations too, police offices, especially the small ones. There have been a lot of small police stations that have gotten hit, and because they didn't have backups and they didn't have up-to-date anti-malware, they actually ended up paying anywhere from $300 to $800. Now, the largest payment that people have actually made is $255,000. That was to a business that didn't have backups. But
now, is your data ruined when they get in and mess with it like this?
They're encrypting it. So they're not actually damaging it, but they're making it unavailable to you unless they decrypt it. Then they're the only ones who have the decryption key. So that's why it's so important for everyone to make frequent backups, because if you have backups of the data that they have taken hostage, then you just say forget it,
Now,
go
are you
away.
talking hard backups or cloud backups?
Well, Personally, I like to keep external drives because I have a business and I have clients. I don't like anybody else to have my clients' data but me. So I have a lot of external drives, and I keep around 2 copies of all my clients' files, but I keep them on separate drives. So if I would see something weird going on my computer, I would immediately disconnect from the internet. And also, if I had any of my external drives, I would disconnect them immediately too, so it wouldn't spread. Because the crooks count on you staying online so they can continue doing other things potentially while you're on there. But it's very distressing for people, and it's hitting worldwide. In Romania, there was a man who was out kind of going to porn sites. Well, a lot of times different sites have ransomware that when you go to them, it will load onto your computer. And he got a message, and it looked like it was from the police. And the police said, oh, we caught you doing bad things, going to porn sites. We're going to throw you in jail for 11 years unless you pay us the U.S. equivalent of $18,000. But the sad thing is, it hits people so hard, especially, you know, if he was doing something he was afraid people were going to find out. He actually committed suicide, and he had a 4-year-old son with him, and he took his son with him. So, I mean, people get really, you know, distressed. So I want all your viewers to know, if this happens, you know, disconnect, don't do anything, and if you need help, why the FBI actually has a legitimate site you can go to. It's ic3.gov. www.ic3.gov, and that's where you can report these types of computer crimes.
Now, what if you need to physically get this thing off your machine? You just go to a place like Diamond and see if they can get rid of it?
You can do that, or here's what my friend locally did. He didn't have anything on his hard drive that he cared about anyway. I mean, other than his operating system. He kept all of his files on a separate external drive. So what he did was, you know, the guy actually had their phone number because his wife had been communicating with him. And the guy called and started threatening him, saying, this is the United States of America, and you're doing bad things, and you got to pay. Well, he kind of told him to go take a walk with the devil, you know. And after that, and a few choice words, why he just hung up and said, don't call back, and he reinstalled his operating system.
Yeah,
so
it wipes everything clean then.
Yeah, it wipes everything clean. Now there's local tech, computer tech stores and businesses that will help you out as well, and they can help you to try to remove it. But really, the best thing is to keep anything that you don't want, you know, to lose on backups, frequent backups. And it's not just your laptops, it's also on your Droid systems, it's also on your tablets. So make frequent backups and use your anti-malware, because a lot of the anti-malware will catch it if it starts to come on your computer.
How pricey is anti-malware now?
Oh, you can get it very cheaply. In fact, for family packages, why oftentimes it's as little as anywhere from $9 to $19. Oftentimes a month you pay if you want to get, you know, the frequent updates. Or you can get $120 to $180, I think, for the package, you know, just a one-time purchase. But I encourage people to get the kind where you get it updated all the time. That way, when new threats come out like this, well, your computer gets updated and you don't have to face getting hit. But definitely make sure your family members know, too. I've noticed a lot of the senior citizens who are just getting into, you know, their tablets, they got a new tablet and they're going out and checking different websites. That's when they'll get hit, because they like to go, besides the porn sites, they like to go to video sites, or you know, those get corrupted. So really be aware and don't click things, not in your email if it looks suspicious, and don't go to websites that you're not sure about.
And if you see something that looks a little suspicious, what you do is you contact this young lady right here,
yes.
the privacy professor. Let her know what's going on, and she might be able to give you a hand, and this is how they get a hold of you.
Yes, definitely. You can go out to, this is my oldest site, but I keep adding stuff to it. Hit the question mark, and I'm happy to answer your questions you have. This is my new business site, and this is where I help businesses to keep from falling for these types of things, and also help them with all of their other security and privacy issues. And then this is where I have a lot of various items and do consulting from this site as well. So definitely, if you have questions, let me know. And you know, if you have a question about something, chances are other people have that same question.
Right.
So it could be a good topic for us to talk about sometime.
There you go.
Nice.
See, security is an important thing. You
Yes,
got
it
to
is.
keep your
Hear
stuff
about it every
safe.
day.
And based on what you've said to us many different times, we have taken our first box of old
good.
paperwork and bills and things like that, and took them over to some people that visited us not too long ago, right down the street here. The shredder people, Eric, if you go to the surface here real quick, and I found out how secure a system. Remember, they came in talking about this. They go to your home, they go to your
great.
business, and they shred documents for you. But you can, as simple as walk in, dump it in their secure bin, and they have a security system to prevent anybody from messing with your stuff.
Great.
Sydney.
Oh.
Is there to guard
Man.
your paperwork.
That's
so
a great-
so that is very cool. That was the
Yes.
most important aspect of it right there.
Definitely, that's very important. So watch what you put out in your trash. There's even crooks now using drones to go out and scope out when people have put their trash
No
out.
way.
Yes.
Wow.
So you have to be
believe.
careful about that too.
We're always
Watch for
being
stray
watched.
drones.
All right, Privacy Prof on Twitter too. Follow her. It's 8:35.